Hi and welcome to my very 6th YouTube video. In this video I'm going to renovate the home of the Roomies household, whom I gave a little makeover in the last video, and I'm going to transform their house from a kind of modern house into a Mediterranean house. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was a struggle. Because as you can see, there's a little patio in the middle of the house, and I think it's a very cool idea to have that, and I think that gives this house a lot of character, so I definitely wanted to keep it. But in the same time, it led to the shape of the house being a donut, and a donut is very hard to roof and very hard to make look acceptable or good. So I kind of felt like I was doing a very evil shell challenge most of the time, but I did some things that you couldn't do in a shell challenge, and that was to change the walls a little bit and move the rooms around. But I really think this fiddling around with the rooms just made it more difficult with myself, because I just created a more complicated donut shape, and yeah, I don't think that made it any easier. Especially here, where I moved the 2 bedrooms 2 tiles inward to get rid of that hallway space, I forgot to move the bathroom. I just completely forgot, and that made my life really hard in trying to roof that bit. And as you're going to see, it took me a very long time to realize that mistake. When I put roofs onto my build, I usually prefer the gable roofs, especially for suburban or also these Mediterranean type builds. But with this roof in particular, there just were areas where I couldn't make these gable roofs look good. So I think for 2 parts of the roof, I decided to take I think they're called hip roofs. So the roofs without the wall showing. And I wasn't 100% happy with that solution, but after a while of fiddling around, they just seemed like the best solution to me. And right here I'm roofing the back bit of the house, which was a really big part of it. So I used the hip roof here again, and it got very big and especially very high, and with that height it was kind of visible from the front, which I didn't really like. But if I would have lowered that roof, it wouldn't have fit with the angle of the other roofs on the build, and I would have had to lower all of the roofs, and I didn't want to do that. So I kept that back roof as it was. And if you view the house from the front, from like the angle that a sim would see it, so from low down, you also can see it, so it's not that high that you would see it in the back from everywhere. When I got to the windows, I used these brown base game windows again that I think are very beautiful and so fitting to this Mediterranean style, so I really like to use them. And I also took care that if I placed some windows on half tiles, that I didn't place them too close together so that the wall wouldn't clip through them. And while doing that, I realized that there aren't really 2-story houses in the cheaper area of Oasis Springs, because I kind of wanted to use some of these wall-mounted flowers, but they only really look good if you have a 2-story house, because I think in the ground floor some landscaping in front of the window just looks better than these flower boxes. Afterwards, I just changed the fence around the backyard to be a little bit more of a dark brown because I thought it suited the build better, and I also changed the flooring to the same flooring that I had placed in that little inner courtyard or patio inside the house. I also changed the mailbox and the trash can to suit this style a little bit more than the modern style it was at the beginning. And after searching through Debug for a while to put down some landscaping, I think the front of the house, or in general the outside of the house, looked surprisingly presentable for how much I struggled with it. The landscaping in front of the bathroom is one thing that I forgot to change after I realized my placement mistake, but I promise I'm going to have that and also the terrain paint fixed when this is going to be in the final save file. Now, all I had left to do for the outside was to change the border of the pool to fit the color scheme a little bit more, and then I was ready to tackle the inside. I had placed some better lighting there before because I had played in this house a little bit after the Roomies makeover, and I also took some photos with Jay, so I really wanted better lighting while playing in it. But of course the placement of it was all messed up because I messed with the placement of the rooms. And this was the moment when I realized my mistake, realized I had made my life unnecessarily hard with the roofing, and I fiddled around with the placement of the living room a bit to be able to fix it, and afterwards I removed the roof that was not necessary anymore, and I still liked how the front of the house looked, also without this roof. So yeah, I fixed this mistake. As I already said, I only forgot to fix the landscaping, and I promise I'm going to do that as fast as possible. At this point in time, I was kind of debating what color scheme to do for the big and open living area, because there was this orange and green from the living room, this more green from the dining room, and that yellow from the kitchen. And all of them looked kind of good in their own right, but because it is a Mediterranean build and I already did this color scheme for the other builds, I went for the orange, and I think it suited all three living areas pretty well. There were two possible tones of orange that I could go with for the kitchen, but I decided to go with a more vibrant orange. I had the feeling like there was something missing in the living room area, and then I realized that there wasn't a table, so I put one there, and I thought it really helped to tie this whole space together. And I decorated it a little bit and also changed this little lamp against a standing lamp that I thought would fill the space a little bit better. Afterwards, I placed the windows around the little garden inside the house, and even though I used different windows on the outside, in here I wanted to have these big open windows, so you could see all the plants and stuff also from the living room. When I placed these smaller windows, I didn't think about it at all. I just wanted to have it kind of symmetric, but later I realized that there's this one window that looks right into Zoe Patel's room, right onto her bed. And I think for a girl living alone with 3 guys, that's maybe not the smartest idea or not the best window placement on my part, and I don't think that's included in this footage, but I later placed a little curtain or a bigger curtain in front of that window so you couldn't see into her room anymore. I think that was important. With the placement of the flowers and that little bench, I just wanted to create an idyllic little place for them to sit together as friends or just alone and relax a little bit. I don't know, I have 2 of them in university and the other ones have jobs and stuff. And I think everyone needs that nice little place to relax, even just their friends that could come and hang over and relax there. I just wanted to create that space. And as a little insight into the recording process, I had to record this decoration of the patio or little garden on the inside twice, because the first time I did that, the file went missing or it just didn't record at all, I don't know. But it was kind of frustrating because I had to delete all my progress and do it all again just with the recording on. I don't know, I think this build was maybe cursed somehow, I don't know. But anyways, when I got to this bathroom and the other rooms and stuff, I just was a little bit over this build. I just wanted it to be done with, so I didn't went overboard with the clutter. I didn't do any special placement like I like to do usually with something like soap or the toothbrushes and stuff. I just placed the things where they would normally go, and I hope this doesn't bring down the quality of the build too much. Above Zoe Patel's bed, I placed that picture of the little flying pig that probably has some inspirational quote above it, and I also went very pink with her room. She already had that pink princess bed in the pre-made build, and at first I couldn't really see that in her personality, but then I thought she probably just moved out, had her first own space, and probably just wanted to create the room she had always dreamed about, now that she could decide completely how her little space should be. And maybe she decided it should be a pink princess space. Then I got to Jay Huntington's room, and that was kind of cool because he had the pictures in his room that I had taken with him before, and I really liked that part that he has this nicely arranged wall of photos. But it also came with some problems because he is a fashion influencer with a huge following, so I wanted him to have a large wardrobe so he had space to pick and choose from a lot of clothes, but I also wanted him to have a computer because he has to deal with his social media stuff. And with his picture wall, in addition to that, there just wasn't enough space. But luckily he had a big bathroom just next to his bedroom, and I was able to take half of the bathroom and give it to the space of his bedroom. And with that I fiddled around a lot to fit the wardrobe and a computer and a desk. At one point I also thought that this maybe is not going to work, But then I had the idea to change the position of the bathroom door, and with that change it was made possible. I playtested it and the bathroom is still accessible, and with that I was able to make space for the bathroom, the wardrobe and the computer. And before you get confused, now that I'm onto Gavin's bedroom, I originally did this bedroom first before I started trying around to put a computer into Jay's bedroom, but I swapped the two clips to have a more logical order in which I decorate these bedrooms. For Gavin's bedroom, I kept it to brown and dark gray tones to kind of give the feeling that you are in an older place than you actually are, because I thought that would fit great to Gavin and him being a little bit old-fashioned and very into literature. I also had to put a bookshelf there. I had a single tile and I would have loved to place a little bit of an old-timey bookshelf there, but because there are no old-timey one-tile bookshelves in the base game, that wasn't possible. And with that, there was only Mitchell Kalani's bedroom left, and I thought it was kind of odd how it was designed more like a kid's room in the original build, and I definitely wanted to change that. But at first I wanted him to have easy access to a bathroom too, and because him and Gavin Richards are very best friends in my save file, I thought it would be okay if the two of them share a bathroom because they are very close. His bedroom is the smallest of them all, and because of that it was a little bit hard to fit a bigger bed and also a wardrobe into it, so I decided to just go with a mirror. But I tried to make his room look as nice as possible, especially to contrast that kid's room that he had before, and maybe he could take someone by surprise who probably wouldn't expect something like that from him, but then he shows his bedroom and shows the little interior designer that is there within him. And with that, this build is complete. I hope you enjoyed and liked this video, and I hope we'll see each other again.